In this video, we are going to show you how to play KiCKeT Arena with additional rules for more advanced gameplay. Here we have set up a field for 3-on-3 and choose to play with 2 obstacles. The team that wins the kickoff run chooses the first obstacle and places it freely in the arena, but not closer than 1 step away from goals, the center spot, or any other obstacles. We will explain the different types of obstacles later. Paulie's team, highlighted in green, has already kicked off the ball to his firecaster. The firecaster can throw 6 flames as an action. The fire stays where it was cast until you reload it or someone extinguishes it with their body. If your figure touches the flames, you lose your second action. If you don't have an action, then it's an injury or a fault. Any flames that your figure is touching are considered extinguished. If you cast fire at an opponent on purpose, your player has to sit out for a time penalty on the sideline. You can hold the flames in one hand any way you like. If you hold them loose, they will spread wide, or you can ball them up to throw a fireball. Here the gargoyle touches some flames. His team loses their second action, and he extinguishes the flames he touches. Okay, back to the game. After Paulie's kickoff, it's now Christian's turn, highlighted in yellow. With his first action, he wants to throw the rock to push the ball out of the firecaster's control area. This will not be easy because the ball is very close to the front of the figure, and Christian is not allowed to hit the actual figure with the rock. Great shot. He only hit the ball and actually pushed it out of the control area. But let's take a closer look at his throwing technique. During his throw, his hand moves across the strike area, which is a fault. But since we're not playing for money or the last steak on the grill, we'll let it slide. With his second action, Christian wants to run to the ball. But Sebastian stops him and says, "Why run when you can teleport?" Perfect teleport. His sorcerer girl now controls the ball. Taking a look at replay, we again check out the strike area, and his hand is past it again. But since this is just a friendly match, we'll go ahead and keep playing. Now for his turn, Paulie tries to use Benwick's chain to hit the ball. And unlike the rock, he may touch figures with his chain. Paulie takes a step back, aims, throws, and just misses. On replay, you can see that this throw was actually perfectly legal. His hand stays within the strike area. With his second action, he gets control of the ball. Now Christian's sorcerer girl and the firecaster both control the ball. It is Christian's turn, and his sorcerer girl can play the ball first. Christian chooses to pass into an open area so that his torturer can go and get it. Whoa, let's back up and take this one step at a time. You are only allowed to push your figure from the upper ring of the base. If any part of the figure other than the base touches the ground, it's an injury. If any part of your figure touches a hard obstacle, like a rock or a fence, it's also an injury. Playing with the advanced rules, the game is not reset for injuries or fouls. Rather, if your figure is injured, your opponent may lay your player down on his back somewhere outside of the playing field. In his next turn, Christian can use one of his 2 actions to patch his figure up and bring him back into play. Christian's actions made the ball go out of bounds, and Polly chooses Benwick to do the throw-in. A figure doing a throw-in, corner kick, or goal kick always can reload its special weapon or ability. To throw the ball in, stand behind your figure and reach as far as you can with your arm and drop it or throw it however you want. After the throw-in, it is the opponent's turn. With his first action, Christian's team heals the torturer. He brings him back into play by putting him on the sideline where he was laying. With his second action, he pushes his half-giant towards the ball. Now his half-giant has ball control, and since the rock is also in his control, he may pick it up. His excellent run at the ball has left him in a really good shooting position. So with his first action, Polly moves Benwick to block the shot. He is allowed to touch the ball so long as he doesn't push it out of the half-giant's control. With his second action, he chooses to cast fire to make it harder for the torturer to get back into the game. Christian's shot at the goal is blocked, so he chooses to pass the ball through the fire. With their second action, they move their torturer to gain ball control and set up a new attack. Polly tries to move his figure close to create some pressure, but his side girl pushes the ball out of the torturer's control. Foul! She has to have a time penalty. Here, it's handled like an injury. Your opponent gets to move your figure to the sidelines and lay it on its back. When you start playing with referees, then they have to drag you from the field and hold you for a minute. But we'll get into that another time. Since the ball went out of bounds over the goal line, Christian's team gets a goal kick. Place the ball in the goal area and choose one figure to execute the goal kick. The goal area is 1 foot length away from the goal. This is also the area that your leg must stay in when blocking goal shots. After a goal kick, it is the opponent's turn. Polly moves his firecaster to get control of the ball. Since each figure can only complete 1 action per turn, he can't shoot the ball after running. To get more action in a game, you can always allow a figure to run and shoot in a turn. Now Benwick tries to catch the sorcerer girl. Gotcha. She can still move, though, and drag Benwick along. She gets ball control and blocks the shot. She still has not reloaded her teleport, and can't reload it or teleport while chained. With his next action, Christian throws the rock at the ball, but misses and hits the firecaster instead. Christian's turn is over, and the referees drag the half-giant from the field. When playing with referees, they actually have to chase the bad KiCKeTers through the arena and drag them out. Here, we just lay the figure to the side. With his first action, Polly drags the sorcerer girl away and takes a shot on goal. If your shot bounces off a figure or the goal and goes out of bounds, it's the opponent's turn, either a throw-in or a goal kick, unless the ball hits your opponent's leg while he's blocking the shot. For our video, let's just say that the ball did not hit Christian's foot, so it's his turn and he gets a throw in. He chooses his teleport girl to do the throw in. Not only does this free him from Benwick's chain attack and let him drop it back into the control area, it also lets him reload his teleport. On the throw-in, he will try to throw the ball to a spot where Polly will have a hard time getting it. If he throws it to the X, the fence blocks Polly's Firecaster. And Benwick has to run a long way over the spikes and through the fire. Christian's Torturer, though, would have an easy play to get to the ball in his next turn. A little too short. Ball lands right in the fire. It's Polly's turn, and he runs into the fire to get control of the ball. He loses his second action to extinguish the flame that his figure is sitting on. His turn is over. Christian's team brings their half-giant back into play with their first action, and then tries to teleport the sorcerer girl to the ball. She touches the ball and the Firecaster, injuring herself. Her figure is laid on the sidelines, but the ball is not set back. In the advanced rules, you can sacrifice your players to separate the ball from the opponent or to gain some other tactical advantage. Another option is to play with 2 injuries, one for hitting the ball and one for hitting an opponent. In this case, figures would be placed face down on the sidelines. One action would be required to turn the figure back over on their back, and then another action and a separate turn would be required to bring the figure back into the game. Polly uses his first action to reload his fire, and then uses his second action to reload his chain attack. His poor Psy Girl Sim keeps getting forgotten on the sideline. Christian heals his sorcerer with his first action, and then tries to get the ball with his torturer. Unfortunately, he comes up just short and doesn't have control of the ball. Looking around the field, Polly remembers his side girl and uses his first action to get her back in the game. And with his second action, he moves to get control of the ball. Unfortunately, he just hits the fence and his Firecaster is injured because the fence is a hard obstacle that you can't touch. Christian gets control of the ball, and uses his second action to try and move the half-giant close enough to his rock that he can pick it back up. Now Polly tries to run over the spikes towards the ball. Oops! He falls and he fouls the torturer. Again, depending on how you're playing, you could give him the injury and a penalty by placing him face down. In that case, Polly would need 2 actions in 2 different turns to reactivate his figure. Since Polly's Psy Girl is his only KiCKeTer on the field, and she's behind the ball, Christian can shoot at the goal, and Polly can't use his leg to block the shot. Polly's Benwick is out of the game because of injury and penalty. His Firecaster is also injured. So his Psy Girl would be the only player able to block shots. But to be able to jump between the ball and the goal, i.e. using your leg to block the shot, she would need to be at least even with the ball. In this case, she's definitely too far away. Geez, Christian, My grandma could have made that shot. With his second action, he tries an impossible bank shot. He didn't get the goal, but he is allowed to reload the rock because it is inside the half giant's control area. Because the ball is inside Paulie's goal area, he gets to play the ball out of it before his turn begins. This does not count as his first action. The ball is just in bounds, and now Paulie can start his turn. First, he patches up his Firecaster, and then runs his Psy Girl to the ball. Christian tries to teleport to the ball, but winds up hitting it out of bounds and knocking it out of Paulie's control. His Sorcerer Girl is injured again and is laid down on the sideline. His turn is over and Paulie has a throw-in. He brings his Firecaster over to do the throw-in and drops the ball right into his Psy Girl's control area. The white line shows where the ball is laying, and the dotted line shows where Christian's Torturer is standing. Christian needs to have at least one of his figures on or behind the ball line in order to block the shot with his leg. After the throw-in, it's his turn. But oh no, he fouls. His turn is over, and his Torturer gets laid down on the sideline. Now the goal is wide open for an easy score for Paulie. He scores the easy goal. Good game.